Fifth grade into math, lesson 8.5. Use representations of area to develop procedures. I can find the product of fractions using an area model. Spark your learning. A contractor buys rectangular floor tiles for a home that he is building. How can you find the area of the tile? Use the square to help you find the area of the tile. Explain your reasoning. Okay, so basically what they did for us is they've already drawn a box and each side is 1 foot by 1 foot. So that would be kind of like when we did our fraction bars and we drew like the whole fraction bar and then did pieces underneath it. Well, now they're giving us the whole thing in a square and we're going to break it into pieces. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do the top part. Oh, let me turn on my pencil. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do this top part. So we are going to use the denominator, so the number 4, to do how many columns we need. So how many columns will we need? What is our denominator? 4. So we need to have 4 columns. Okay, so of those 4 columns, okay, and this is where you guys are going to use your pencil. We could technically use colored pencils, but that would take time to get those out. So you're just going to use your pencil. Okay. So how many of those 4 columns will we use? What's our numerator? 3. So you're going to lightly shade in 3 of those columns. Okay. Now we're going to go up and look at the other fraction of 1/3. That's going to tell us how many rows we need. So how many rows would we need using the denominator? 3. So we're going to draw 3 rows. Okay. Now, of those 3 rows, how many do we color in of that? 1. So you're going to darkly shade in 1. And when I say darkly, I mean darker than the lightly that you shaded, but not too dark to where you can't see your sections. Okay, guys? Does that make sense? So, we did 1, but you're only doing 1 row and one that's the ones that have been colored in. You're not going to do like this one over here that doesn't have anything in it. Okay? So, this right here represents what we have colored in twice. So that's darkly shaded and lightly shaded. So how many total boxes did I make for this whole big box? Well, there's 4 columns and 3 rows. So there's a total of 12, right? 12 little boxes. And how many are darkly and lightly shaded? 3. Okay, so that also equals 1/4, right? Now, if I would also take 1/3 times 3/4, I would also get 3/12, which equals 1/4 that way as well, correct? Okay. Build understanding. To tile a different room, the tile shown at the right is used. Use the square to help you find the area of the tile. So we have 2/3 here and 3/4 here. So let's do our columns first. So using the fraction on the top, how many columns do I need? So what's my denominator? 3, right? So I'm going to draw 3 columns. Of those 3 columns, how many am I going to lightly shade? So what's my numerator? 2. Okay, now I'm going to do my rows. So I'm going to use the number on the left side. So how many rows do I need to use? What's my denominator of the next fraction? 4. So I'm going to draw 4 rows. And of those 4 rows, how many do I need to darkly shade? 3. And remember, I am only shading the boxes that have already been shaded, right? Okay, so I'm going to do 3 of my 4 rows. Okay, so how many total little boxes do I have, whether they're lightly shaded, darkly shaded, or are white? How many do I have total? 12, right? Okay, because it's a 4 by 3, right? So 4 times 3 is 12. So my denominator is 12. How many do I have darkly and lightly shaded? 6. So 6/12 also equals 1/2. And then if I also took 2/3 times 3/4, could I simplify before I started? Yep. So this becomes 1 and 1. This becomes 1 and 2. And then it equals 1/2, correct? So our answer is 1/2. Letter A, how can you use your area model to find the area of the tile? So what did we do? So we divided it into what first? So we divided the square into 3 columns and 4 rows. Then we shaded 2 columns and 3 rows. Our large box was broken into 12 small boxes, and 6 boxes were lightly and darkly shaded. So what is the area of the tile? Write a multiplication equation to model the problem. So we already did that up at the top, right, guys? We did the 3/4 times the 2/3, which got us 6/12, which then got us 1/2, right? What's my label though? So we found the area, right? So what's my label? Half of a foot squared, because we did the area model, okay? Or it could be half of a square foot, either way, right? For another room in the house that he is building, the contractor uses floorboards with the dimensions shown. So they have 3/4 on the length and 4/9 on the width. Okay, so they drew our box for us. So once again, we're using this for our columns and this for our rows. Okay, so how many columns do I need? 4. Of those 4 columns, how many do I need to lightly shade? 3. Okay. Okay. Then how many rows do I need to make? So I'm using the denominator, right? How many rows? 9. Okay. And you want them to be as congruent as you possibly can, but sometimes drawing 9 rows is a little hard, right? Okay. Now, how many of those 9 rows do I need to darkly shade? 4. And remember, we are only doing the ones that have already previously been done, right? Not the white ones. Okay, so how many total boxes do I have, guys? So this is a this was 4 columns and this was 9 rows. So how many totals? 36, right? Now, how many total boxes did I double color? 12, right? Because there's 3 here and there's 4 or 3 across and 4 down. So 12, right? So what is that simplified? 1/3. So if I would have also taken, what were my 3/4 and 4/9? Can I simplify before I start? Yep, this becomes 1, this becomes 1. The 3 and the 9, this becomes a 1, and this becomes a 3, so I get 1/3, right? So what is the area of the floorboard? So 1/3 what? Yards, yards squared, right? Because we did the area, okay? Or square yards, either way, right? Okay, so the area of the floorboard can be modeled with the equation shown. Multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators. Write your answers in the box. So we got 12/36, right? But then I also make you guys simplify, and we know that that becomes 1/3, okay? So compare your answers from parts A and B. So do we get the same thing? Right, so they are the same. So how can you find the product of two fractions without using a visual model? So basically all you do is you do what? First you multiply the numerators straight across, right? So we can multiply the numerators straight across, and then do the same thing with the denominators. Then simplify if needed, which technically you can simplify before you multiply, right? Okay, but either way, you need to simplify if needed. Step it out. Number 3, a store is selling new wooden floorboards that measure 2/3 by 1/12 of a yard. What is the area of the floorboard? Write a multiplication equation to model the problem. So we would take what, guys? 2/3 times 1/12, okay, which gets us 236, which also gets us what? 1/18, right? Now we could have also simplified this, right? And we could have made the 2 a 1 and the 12 a 6, right? Okay, and that would have got us simplified to begin with. So 1/18 of a yard squared, correct? Or 1/18 square yards. So describe how you could use an area model to check your answer from part A. So we would draw 3 columns in lightly shade 2. Then we would draw 12 rows in darkly shade 1. We have a total of 36 small boxes and 2 darkly shaded boxes.